Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DFW Drum Coach Podcast, episode number 3. I'm your host, Caleb Barnett. Today, I'm joined by Taylor Hearne. He is a multi-instrumentalist in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as well as the frontman, lead singer, and songwriter for the band The Polarity. In this episode, we talk about his musical journey within that band, as well as playing in church, and a bunch of other things. So I hope you enjoy. Taylor.
What's all?
Thank you for being here, man.
Absolutely.
How's your day going so far?
It's good, dude.
Good.
It's good. I just been chilling this morning.
Yeah.
After working a long weekend on the wedding grind.
Yeah. What did you do at the wedding?
I did video this weekend.
Okay.
Which is pretty stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Whole day.
It's got to be difficult dealing with bridezillas and everything.
Sometimes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they just don't understand that you are fully capable of doing your job.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it is a big day. I did a wedding the other day, and the MC of the event said the wrong name for the bride.
Oh, God.
And it was the most awkward thing ever. I was sitting on the drum set, and I was just like, I had to like look down. I was so embarrassed. And that wasn't it, though. At the end of the night, you know how they do like a private last dance sometimes? They played the wrong song for them.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what is going on? But
that was kind of a similar situation with my wedding.
Really?
We paid this DJ, and we requested like 2 songs. And he played everything but those 2 songs.
But you paid for them?
Yeah.
Are you going to get your money back? Or
well,
I guess
no.
Nah, I guess
this is years ago.
Oh,
this is when I got married. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then they said apparently they said the wrong vows at Ben's wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it happens.
It does. It's a very stressful day for everybody, but it's also a very good day, I'm sure. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, so tell me how you got started with like music and stuff.
So I mean, we grew up in the same church.
That is correct.
I would say that I had to fill in shoes that needed to be filled in the youth band.
Yeah.
So my brother needed a bass player in the youth band, and so that's how I got started. He just taught me like basic root notes on the bass, and that's where it all started.
Cool, man. Do you still like play in church today? Or is that
yeah, I do. That's what I do for my part-time job.
Gotcha.
I play drums and guitar for them.
Yeah, like you're a multi-instrumentalist.
I've learned lots of different things over the years.
Is that because you've just kind of had to, or is it because like you just genuinely were interested?
I was just genuinely interested.
Cool.
I started on bass, and then I grew up. Another friend of ours, Aaron Ingram.
I want to have him on here too.
Yeah, he's a extremely talented guitarist, and every time I saw him play, I was just like, man, I want to be as good as Aaron.
He's freaking good.
That's how I got the itch to learn guitar. So then I started with that. And then throughout my childhood, I was thinking about this, like how I got started before we got on this podcast. I was super into Guitar Hero, the video game.
Yeah, I think we all were.
Yeah. And I know Ben would always give a shit for playing that because he's so good at guitar on his own.
Well, that's how he got started too. So
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, over the years they started adding like drum elements to the game, like an electronic drum kit, and I think that's where I really learned how to play drums.
Really?
Like you learn the basic kick and snare and hi-hat beats on like the easy difficulty.
Okay.
And then you just slowly progress in difficulty until you get to expert, and then that's like basically what the groove is of a song.
Yeah. So you said this was for Guitar Hero?
Yeah, Guitar Hero.
Did they have because I remember at Rock Band they had like just a thing
like pads.
like 4 different pads like right next to each other that didn't make any sense really. It's like that is not.
Yeah.
I mean,
with Guitar Hero, it was like they had a hi-hat cymbal thing, a cymbal pad, and then like a crash or ride cymbal pad in addition to like the snare and tom pads.
That's good. And it's funny you bring that up because I actually have a student that he plays Rock Band, and he has like a really nice Roland drum set that he configured to trigger all of the things.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I mentioned this in I think the first episode, but he, like, as soon as you took the video game away from him, he couldn't play by ear. So we're having to like work backwards.
Right.
But he like doesn't realize that he's playing the exact parts.
Right.
It's like, how about we channel that, channel that process to reading music, and it's actually been working out really well for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I think, especially with our generation, I think Guitar Heroes kind of played a huge part in our musical development.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then they've just like built off of that with I don't remember what video game it was called, but you actually plug in a legit guitar into your Xbox or whatever.
Really?
And it somehow configures to the strings on what you're playing, and you can learn how to play it on an actual guitar.
That's awesome. I gotta find out what game that is.
I think it's called Rocksmith.
Rocksmith?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's like a 2015 game, I think, but
God, technology, man.
I know, it's crazy how fast it advances.
That's awesome. So, you were in the church band and everything. Did you do like middle school band or anything like that?
Yeah, I did like a concert band. I played trumpet.
Yeah.
And that's how I got kind of like my roots with reading.
Cool.
That's probably the only foundation I have with reading.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I played there for like 4 years.
Sweet. I played trumpet in the 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
When we were at Bethesda. My mom really wanted me to start out on a wind instrument, even though I had been playing drum set years prior. So I played trumpet. I liked it. But all my buddies were in the percussion section, so I wanted to switch to that. And I ended up switching schools the next year. So I did beginner band twice in the 5th grade at one school, and then in the 6th grade at another school. But I switched instruments.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you played trumpet.
I did. I can still play a C scale.
I think I might be able to play a C scale.
That's the only thing I can play. I remember the fingerings because, like, I don't know, you just remember random things from your childhood.
Yeah.
It just sticks with you. So, but also you were in the theater department.
Yes, I was.
So I'd like for you to kind of talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind. Like, your reasoning for getting into that, and does that like directly translate into your musical development now? And
so I think the reason I got into that was I was tired of concert band by the time I got into high school, because I was transitioning from private school to public school when I was in 10th grade, and up until that point I had been in concert band. And I was tired of doing that, so I needed to find something else to get involved with. And the only other thing that made sense was theater, because we were doing a little bit of that at Bethesda, and I was like, okay, this could be fun. So I think I learned how to like perform on stage, and that translated to acting in some way whenever I do a live performance now, like at a show or a concert or something. Just bringing the energy to the stage. Well,
and it also got you comfortable like singing in front of people and everything.
Absolutely.
So, which is extremely nerve-wracking for a lot of people. It's like when I think of the most vulnerable thing in the world, I think of like singing in front of, people that you don't know or something, or even people that you do know. It might be a little worse.
Yeah. But that's worse for me. I'm fine singing in front of like an audience, but if it's like a room of 2 people, I get more nervous than an audience.
That So Far show that you and I think it was me, you, and Aaron, right?
Yeah. And Austin.
Yeah, Austin was there too. That's right. When we did that show, I mean, we rehearsed for it and everything. Yeah. I felt so prepared, but I was so nervous because like those kinds of shows, like nobody's on their phone.
Yeah, they're all specifically paying attention.
Exactly.
To you.
They're sitting on the floor staring at you. It's like, whoa.
I know.
It was, I'll never forget that. I was like so nervous, but I thought we did pretty well.
Yeah.
It was a fun show.
There's still a recording of that out there.
Yeah.
I need to send that to you.
Please do. That was a good show. I thought we had a good time. So, so you are now the front man. Well, you've been the front man for the Polarity for a while.
Yeah.
And I'd love to dive deep into that. And you're the sole songwriter for the band. Is that right?
So yeah, it was just me from about 2014 until 2017. And at that point, I was really creatively exhausted of doing everything on my own.
Sure.
And so then I brought on TG and Tyler and Ethan, who are like we're the lineup now of the band. and I think it's really helped just get more creative. So yeah, I'm the front man now, and I still write like the foundation of the songs, but they come in and just reinforce everything and make it better.
You guys meet in a rehearsal space, or do you kind of just do things remotely, or like?
No, yeah, we do. So I'll put together like a demo, and then we'll bring it to Ben, and Ben will either say this song sucks or this song's great. And then the other guys come in, and then they'll add their own stuff.
Like come into the studio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it really all comes together during the recording process.
And that's my favorite way to do it. Like, I mean, back in the day, it was fun to get together and jam, but like, why don't we kill two birds with one stone and just like let the studio vibe kind of dictate where the music's going to go? Like,
Absolutely.
I love being open to that. So, but that's awesome, man. Like, and the Polarity, in my mind, is extremely successful.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I would say back in 2018, we had this song featured in an ad for a business. It was for a guitar pedal company, and that ad was like really heavily funded. So that song was going everywhere, and everybody was asking, "What is that song?" And so that's kind of where
it literally popped.
Yeah,
I remember reading the comments. It was just like,
yeah, everyone was like, "What is this song?" Funny note that whenever that ad came out, it wasn't even a Polarity song yet. I actually made the song because everyone was freaking out about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, like I know that a lot of songs, like for some bands, I know that Ocean Avenue for Yellow Card almost didn't even make the record because they couldn't write a melody to it. And then bam, it was their huge smash hit. So it's kind of funny how things happen on accident.
I know.
Like that.
And there's like, it was very similar with that song whenever I brought it to Ben, because I had obviously had some history with just the instrumental version, which had been in the ad. And then I wrote some lyrics for it, and I brought it to Ben, and we were both like, this song may or may not work. And so we almost didn't put it out on the record, but I'm really glad that we did.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too. I think, how many listens do you have on Spotify?
It's currently at 1.4 million.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so sick. And you can actually like make money on Spotify now, right?
Yeah, so the best thing that happened with that song is now we literally don't have to pay for anything that's band related.
That's so awesome, dude. See, and that's why it's like success right there.
I mean, we're an independent band, so we don't have to pay a manager or a label or anything, so we get to keep all of that money. And so all of that money gets to pay for our studio time, or gets to pay for our marketing or our merch. It's amazing. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy how there's like a new model, because I look at your band and you guys haven't gotten in a van and toured or anything like that. You do play shows, but you don't like grind like relentlessly, I guess. I mean, there was a big house show scene going on in Denton for a while, right? Or is that still a thing? But it seems as if you guys have just been able to achieve your success through the internet.
That's the new goal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tour, but if you don't have popularity, you're going to be paying out of pocket for this tour, first of all.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see a return on your investment because no one's going to come to your shows.
True.
So I think the biggest thing that you can do is market yourself online. If you put the money into marketing and making ads and reaching new fans, those fans are going to come to your show eventually whenever you decide to tour.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to put the time into social media first.
Is that something that you guys are like open to? Like if there's a huge demand for you guys to travel and
tour absolutely. I mean, we were planning on going on tour in October.
Oh yeah.
We had it all scheduled out, and we had a booking agent already scheduling everything, and then COVID happened, and now
freaking COVID.
Now we probably won't be able to do it until next year.
Yeah, but I mean, in the meantime, you're still writing and everything.
Yep, we just finished an EP. I got the masters back last week from Ben, and so I'm actually getting in a creative space to do some new photos and videos for ads and stuff.
Guys, I've heard the stuff, and it is amazing. I think it's your best stuff yet.
I think so too, and I think
really good.
Ben agrees as well. There's one song in particular that, whenever I first brought it in, he was like, "Dude, this is your best song yet." And I was like, "Oh,
and that's
awesome."
Good when Ben says that.
I know, right?
Because he doesn't bullshit. So
for sure.
So like, what what inspired you to write songs? Like,
honestly, whenever we were in a band back in the day, Ederville, we were in a pop punk band back in the day, and it was honestly you guys that inspired me to write and be in a band, because I saw how fun it was, and we played a few shows, and it was a lot of fun, and I just could only see myself doing that. So that's what really inspired me to do that.
Awesome, man. Well, that's cool. Yeah, man, we had some good times. I don't think pop punk is much of a thing anymore.
No, absolutely not.
But I still listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
It's near and dear to my heart, but I'm getting older. I can't really play those fast skate beats anymore without like pulling a muscle or something.
Yeah. Those were fun, man.
Yeah.
I remember one or a couple of shows specifically that we played in like this old strip club. It's called the Rail Club.
That used to be a strip club for sure?
It used to be a strip club.
I thought that was kind of like a running joke. I didn't know that was for real, but
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me.
Those are fun times, man.
Is that place still open?
It's still open.
Wow.
They revamped it. Like, it's a really dope venue now.
I feel like it was marketed mostly, or they were trying to attract like metal bands. Like if you look at the logo, it's like super intense.
Yeah.
Edgy. Edgy for sure. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed playing there. They had a legit stage, had a really good sound system.
Yeah, the sound system was good.
I do want to play at Mass.
Yes.
That is a place that I want to play at.
I played there with Ben once. Once. I know Meech Pango plays there a lot. Their sound is really good, and their lighting's really good now, so they're a legit venue.
Yeah, that stands for Maine at Southside. It's in Fort Worth. We saw, I think you were at that show too. We saw Meech Pango play.
Yeah, that was their album release or something.
Yeah, and like it was so cool to see like people there for them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember Ben was like so proud because they just kicked ass on stage.
Yeah, and they sold it out.
Yeah.
They sold out the show.
They're such great performers and everything. Y'all should tour together if that, make that happen. I think that'd be a cool lineup.
They're really cool guys.
Like, where and when, I mean, I know you said you play drums at your church, but like, do you recreationally practice, or do you like, and also do you like, when you're writing music, do you start with a drum groove, or like what normally happens with that?
I'll start with like practicing. For at the beginning of the year, I had just moved into my new house, and I got a new Ludwig Classic Maple, and I was making videos and practicing on that.
And it's such a great drum kit.
Living the life with that fucking kit. I love it so much. So I was making videos and practicing all the time, and then COVID happened, and now I haven't been able to practice recently, but that's typically where I go, is in my house. Luckily, I have enough space in my office that I can just practice.
That's good. Does it drive your wife nuts, or does she?
Yeah. I need to get some kind of electrical kit or something.
Yeah, I understand. And like, it's so, I mean, they make all these products like the silent stroke drum heads and the L80 cymbals. I mean, it's better than nothing.
It's just not the same.
It's not, dude. I mean, I would rather play on a Roland drum set than that, but those are so expensive.
I know.
There's a church gig that I used to do where I had to, like, that was the drum set I played on, and it was fun. But yeah, there's nothing that replaces the acoustic drum set. I've been encouraging all of my students to get acoustic drum sets at some point.
Yeah.
Most of them have electronic ones just for noise, and I think it's great. I think every drummer needs to be comfortable on both. You know what I mean? Because they're
different feels for sure.
No doubt. But I think that like electronic drums actually are really good for like working on rebound and everything, and like your technique and stuff. But whenever you are trying to get more into the finesse side of things, like dynamics, that's where acoustic drums really are king, in my opinion. But yeah, man.
We were talking about, do I start with a drum groove whenever I make songs?
Yeah.
Not typically. Recently, I found this software called Output Arcade. Okay. I don't know if you've seen Ben use it. It's insane. It's essentially like this sample library. And so you can just go mess around with sounds, and it's a huge library. So you have so many sounds you can work with. So I'll just go and mess around with a sound, and then once I find something I like that could be a song, then I'll put a drum groove to it after that.
Nice.
And And I feel really bad for TG because I'm doing all of this by myself before we get to like the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey man, what do you think of this? If you want to change it. And he's like, dude, it already sounds good. You don't need to change it.
Well, at least he's like, yeah, I mean, he seems to be happy.
Yeah.
So he's a great drummer too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that Mute Math show that we went to.
Yes.
Dude, we drove all the way to Tulsa.
Yep.
That was so much fun.
I was thinking about that on the way here.
No, Darren King wasn't playing with them anymore.
He had just left
Dang
like a
it.
couple of months before that.
I stumbled across a couple Darren King videos yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this guy is so freaking good.
Yep.
And that was honestly one of the things that I normally don't notice the drums first when I listen to music. I'm more of a melody, vibe, tone kind of guy. But that's what hooked me in with Mute Math.
Yeah.
I was like, that
the drum
drummer
sounds.
Yes, like vintage. And
On top of him being just like an amazing drummer, he knows how to experiment with different sounds in drumland.
Absolutely. I think he has his own sample library, or actually no, there's a sample library. Sorry, sample library called That Sound.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Mayberry in Nashville. He played on all the Hillsong stuff, but yeah, he has a company called That Sound, and I think Darren King has his own like side library in that. Like, but you can like take some of his grooves that he recorded and like snap it into your Pro Tools session.
That's awesome.
And go to town. But dude, like that's what I aspire to be, is like just a guy. I don't think I would ever tape my headphones to my head, but like just be a guy that is unapologetically himself on the drum set and just brings so much vibe and energy. It's like there's nobody else that plays like him.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I mean, I would assume that you try to do the same on your instruments. You just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, do you like compare yourself to people? Like,
I try not to.
Yeah. I mean, that's just human nature.
Because I'm fine at drums. I'm not like amazing at drums. So I feel like if I get into this comparison game, I'm just going to psych myself out.
For sure.
Not feel confident in my playing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get over, like if I'm writing something, I try to get over the whole like, oh, this sucks. Like,
yeah,
you're not a singer, you can't put this out. Like, but I'm like, man, like whenever I start writing something, I like it for like the first 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this blows. But I think that's all like mental.
Yeah.
So I
get in that too. So it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just as an artist's curse or whatever. We're our own worst critic.
We were talking about Darren King, and there's another local, or they used to be local to Dallas, called Little Image.
Yeah.
And they're probably the biggest local band to come out of Dallas now, I think, because they've been touring with a lot of bands. Their drummer, his name is Troy. I don't remember his last name. But he's been touring with this huge band called Judah and the Lion.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They were playing like Red Rocks, and I saw some videos of him playing at Red Rocks.
That's a dream venue for me, man.
He was at a festival, and Darren King happened to be there, and I saw a video of Darren King just come up and play a set with Judah and the Lion, and so cool. Troy just like gets up, and Darren King comes over and he's like bowing to him.
I would do the same thing. It's like, please play my drums. And is Judah and the Lion, is that a Christian band or?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
It sounds very Christian.
Right.
They might have started out as like a Christian influence. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that since we started out playing in church, like I think that's one of the best ways that you can develop your musicianship.
Absolutely. There's like, if you're volunteering, there's not huge pressure to be this great thing. I mean, it's a great place to start and learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say that, I cut my teeth at church, but like that, we put so many hours on stage, like with rehearsals and Wednesday night services. And I think you might have, did you ever play on a Sunday morning or anything, or a Sunday night?
No, I never did. It was mainly just Wednesday nights.
Yeah, mainly Wednesday for me.
I mean,
too.
I'm playing every Sunday morning for the last 5 years though. So now my time is put in there. I
highly encourage people, if you're trying to get started, or just get more experience, go play in a church, even if you're just doing it for free. But like that is one of the best ways to develop chemistry with other musicians and know how to like where you, what your role is in the band.
Yeah, in a live band for sure.
Man, that's so important.
But I also have experienced just don't be arrogant.
Yeah.
Whenever you play or do anything, just don't be arrogant, because I've seen guys who suck and they will come in and play with the band and we're like, hey, can you tone it back just a little bit? Maybe don't solo while the lead singer is singing on a verse. But they're just like, but I'm the best thing ever. So
do they like say that? Have you ever had?
No, they don't say
they just
that.
have that
but
attitude.
They have that attitude.
Yeah, man.
Where they just refuse to listen to logic.
For sure. It's so important to be a team player, man.
Yeah.
That is so important.
You have to know your role. You have to know where you fit in a live band for sure.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you're a guitar player. Isn't he like a UNT 1 o'clock guy?
Oh, yeah. So Ethan, man, he is literally the best guitarist I know.
I think I stumbled across his Instagram and he had some videos up. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, UNT 1 o'clock, doesn't matter who you are, you're fucking good.
Yeah.
But he seems like the most humble dude ever.
Yes.
And like plays, like he does a great job in your band, but you know that he has a lot more that he could just whip out if he wanted to.
That's why all the time, whenever we get to like a bridge or just a jam section, I'm like, Ethan, solo right now.
Ready to go.
He does like 10 solos for a show, but I don't give a shit because he's so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could you? Yeah, I would be like, please keep going.
Have you heard his solo on one of the new songs yet?
I don't think so. I haven't listened to the entire song, but like as I've been walking in and out of the studio, I hear Ben mixing and mastering. Yeah. And I was here for the initial drum recording process.
Yeah.
Which, how was that? Like that ended up going okay?
It was good. Were you here whenever we had my 13-inch snare and then we had 18-inch crashes for the hi-hats?
I don't know if I was here for that.
Okay, I'll have to show you that song. It ended up coming out really well. But it was like a strange combination of things, of like drum things, but it sounded so cool.
Yeah, trust your ear. That's usually the direction that I go. Like the smaller the smaller the snare, the bigger the hi-hats.
Yeah.
That's just, and then vice versa. How many songs are on the EP again? You said
There's five.
Five? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you play on one of them? Did you play drums on one of them?
I played drums on one song, yeah.
Okay. Which, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what kind of feel is it? And
it's called, well, the new song, which is the one we were talking about earlier that Ben was like, this is your best song. It's called Feelings. Mm-hmm. Although I can't decide if I want to call it Africa, but not by Toto yet.
I think you should. I love that title, and I think people would be like, "That's hilarious! I got to listen to this."
Yeah, song. Like the name is hilarious. I'm just wondering how it would fit in marketing and like how difficult that would be to put an ad around that long name. I don't know yet.
Well, if Fall Out Boy can do it, like they had like fucking 2 or 3 sentences for their.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think 1975 does that sometimes.
Oh my God, the name of their second album. I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful yet so, and then I don't even remember what comes after that. That's the name of their album.
I think they might have done that just to be, facetious, if that's the right word. But that's cool. Well, I'm excited for your new music, man. It's really good. I think you're fucking great at what you do.
Thank you.
And I think it's awesome. Like, not only, okay, guys, I'm going to brag on Taylor a little bit. Not only is he a multi-instrumentalist, you also do the film for your band. You also design my logo. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
You do all the graphic work and stuff like that. So it's like, in photography, it's like, what can you not do? You do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I get so bored so easily with the like creative industry, so I just try to learn as much as I can in so many different fields.
That's good, man. Well, it's good to have all those skills in your back pocket in case, you might have a slow season in this part, but you can go do this and everything. I'm glad that you're doing wedding video and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell everybody that, I mean, I met fans at shows and I tell them that I have a job and they'll be like, what, you have to work? You don't do this all the time? And I'm like, I wish I could do this all the time.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, music can't pay the bills all the time.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I I am fortunate to be able to gig really often, but because of COVID and bars shutting down, it's like, well, kind of hurting there in that regard. But I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start teaching was to, I mean, I genuinely enjoy it. But I also wanted to have some extra income for nice cushion. And I have a lot of information to share, man. Like I have all sorts of things that I want to share with students in the world and everything, so I'm enjoying it so far.
It makes me wonder, like, what other bands are doing. Like, do you think Tom York is working a coffee shop when he's not?
No, because Creep, he makes all of his money probably off of Creep whenever it was huge in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's so crazy how the music industry has just changed over the years. Like, even back when we started, I thought the model or the mold of what you had to follow was make a record, tour, sign to a record label, and repeat the process. Like it's not like that anymore. People don't buy records anymore.
Right.
I am a big fan of Spotify. I'm not going to lie. I know that at one point, I mean, it still kind of does screw artists, but at one point it was really screwing artists.
Yeah. And I think there was some new legislation signed like this last year that Kid Rock was somehow a part of.
Wow.
Where they got more money for streams for artists.
That's good. However it needed to be done, I'm glad that people are able to make money. And that's kind of inspiring because like Ben and I are wanting to start writing some music as well. And that'd be cool to put that out. And I mean, it'd be cool to make some extra money, but really just to be creative and have fun. I
have an argument with Spotify that most people probably wouldn't agree with. So when you think about buying an album, which is probably $10, one person is going to buy that album for $10 and it's going to last them their whole life. So that you basically just gave the artist $10. But when you're streaming, anytime they listen to your song for the rest of their life, they're going to be giving you money. Yep. So I think it's in the long run, it's going to give you more money.
I never really thought of it that way. That's that's good. I've gotten to the point now where I will like a song so much that I'll listen to it like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yeah, me too.
I used to not be like that. I used to be like, okay, I'm going to have to shelf this for a little while and come back to it. But, whenever you have an emotional connection with something, it's like, I want to listen to it again. Yeah. That was really good. I don't know if I could do that with movies. I don't know if I could watch a movie 2 times
That's more
in
of
a
a commitment.
Right, yeah. I have heard of people doing that, though. But it's not.
When I was a kid, I used to watch movies over and over and over.
Oh, yeah. I mean.
But now it's like I'll watch one movie and then I can't watch it again for like a few years.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. So who are some of your favorite drummers?
Oh, so anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of From Indian Lakes. The guy who does literally all the production, he'll do vocals, drums, and guitar. He's one of my favorite drummers. Just because what he does is so interesting. Yeah. He works in different time signatures, but somehow makes it feel so natural. Cool. So he's one of my favorites. Obviously Dave Grohl. Yeah. Just been seeing live videos of him hitting the shit out of drums and making it sound awesome. It's insane. Like, yeah, he hits the shit out of him for sure, but like it's so musical at the same time. I love his stuff on what was that band that he was in? Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah. It's so great. It's like it's just straight up rock drums and it sounds so good. But you know based off of interviews and everything that he's a brilliant musician and he knows his place. So naturally talented. Yeah. One of my favorite songs to play in cover band land is Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I always try to channel my inner Dave Grohl whenever I play that. I mean, we played that at the last cover band show we did. I have a couple suggestions that I want to run by you. Okay. Remind me to do that later. Because that was such a fun gig. That was one of the last ones that we did before everything kind of shut down. That was right before everything shut down. It was the weekend before everything shut down. What was the name of that bar? Twilight Lounge. Twilight Lounge, okay, because my brother and I went to Deep Elm the other night, and I was like, I can't remember the name of the bar that we played at, but I was going to go take him there. But dude, that was so much fun. I love Dallas. I don't know what it is. I maybe it's just nostalgia
nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, excuse me. But when we would go to House of Blues to see like Man Overboard or Yellow Card or something like that, and we'd play shows in Deep Ellum and everything like that, I don't know, there's just some kind of energy there that I love. And I have high hopes for the music industry, like locally in the future. And there's so much talent here. Like, I don't know, have you ever felt like pressure to like move to another city?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Only to like LA sometimes, just because that's like the creative hub for film people.
I understand.
But in terms of music, there's definitely huge talent here that is being missed out on.
I think you're a living example that you can make anything happen anywhere.
That's true.
You're here in, what was it, North Richland Hills?
Watauga.
Watauga, Texas.
Who's heard of Watauga out there?
Right. I was born here in Richland Hills. I lived in Watauga for a hot second when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember your dad saying that.
I don't remember. I was like, 1 or 2, and then moved back over here. And
we were talking about drummers. My favorite drummers. Steve Jordan, absolutely. So he's like, he plays simple grooves, but somehow they're complex at the same time. His like kick patterns are so unique.
Yep. He is kind of an enigma to me because I'm heavily inspired by him for sure. But like I listen, I mean, I sometimes I feel like I am not smart enough to understand what's going on because like everyone sings his praises and everything. He doesn't do anything technically hard.
Yeah.
But I think that he has been able to get microscopically into where he puts the backbeat.
Yes.
Which is really, really hard to do. I think you naturally kind of play on the backside of the beat. When I've heard you play, I'm like, I wish I could play like that. But
it's because I don't have like a strong foundation. I'm just playing whatever the fuck I want.
You're just feeling it.
Yeah.
No, but I think maybe, especially when I'm recording, maybe it's like just slight anxiety that makes me kind of push a little bit. I mean, I play in time, but I tend to be on the front side. But I wish I could like go smoke some weed and play on the backbeat or something, like the backside of it. But Steve is able to manipulate that better than anybody. And I've tried, but like it's almost as if you have to kind of flam the backbeat with the click. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of play a little bit behind. And whenever I hear those two things like happening, where it's like they're kind of, it sounds like it's clashing to me, and I'm like, but I don't know.
I've had the lucky opportunity to see him live playing with the John Mayer Trio once.
John Mayer Trio?
The Trio.
Wow.
So John Mayer was one of my favorite albums of all time is John Mayer Live in Los Angeles, which is from 2007. And at that show, he did a solo set, a trio set, and a full band set.
That's so cool.
Well, he did the same thing 10 years later in 2017. So he did a solo set, a trio set, and a full band set. So I went to that show in Dallas, and it was amazing to see them because I never thought I would see them ever again.
Was he, I heard, I had a buddy that went to go see him in Dallas one time, and he told me, he's like, yeah, it was so uninspired. It's like he didn't want to be there. But I hope it wasn't like that for you. Like, I hope that you really brought it.
I mean, it might have just been the atmosphere. I don't know what atmosphere your friends saw him in, but the production behind what they were doing was insane. And so seeing the great production with how talented they are and seeing John Mayer at the same time probably helped.
I wonder how much money he makes on tour.
So much.
God. We saw Journey one time back in 2008. We took my mom there for Mother's Day.
Nice.
It was her favorite band.
I took Aaron there for his birthday a few years ago.
Oh, cool. I want to say that they make, at that time, I think they make $1 million a show.
Split between all three of them?
They have to pay like the whole crew and everything like that. So I don't.
Still,
that's a lot of freaking money.
If you're making like $300,000 a show,
I could be totally wrong, but that's what I remember hearing. Like I don't know if we were talking to somebody like next to us. We were just talking about, like, I wonder how much money they're making. Yeah, because they're all superstars. Well, this was actually the year that Steve Perry was replaced by that
really?
Malaysian guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's Malaysian. Sounds just like him.
Yeah. He's the one that I saw whenever I went with Aaron.
He is amazing. They found that guy on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that
It's
insane?
an amazing story.
Yeah.
I think there's a documentary about it. Everyone should go watch it.
That's so cool. I would imagine like he probably checked his email one day and saw that I think it was Neil Sean that actually reached out
He
to
was
him.
Probably just like, whatever.
Yeah, I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I could only imagine. That's so freaking cool.
One last thing about Steve Jordan. I love his playing so much that I wanted to check out his sticks, his drumsticks.
Uh-huh.
And they're actually some of my favorite sticks just because of how light and how long they are.
Yep. I used to play with those a lot too.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much the stick changes the tone.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even think about that. Obviously, the thicker the stick, the thicker the tone
Yeah.
can be.
Which I use the Titan Vic Firth as well. The
Oh,
Titan
do you really?
sticks.
Oh,
I have
nice.
one pair of those and I've had them for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because they haven't broken yet.
Yeah, I got some of those for Christmas a while back, and I used them a lot. Never broke them.
Yep.
But they just started to, for me, it just didn't have the kind of rebound that I was wanting, and I
Sure.
kind of missed the feel of wood.
Yeah.
You know, like wood in my hands.
Like that wood in your
yeah,
hands.
that's right. Right now I'm playing the Freestyle 5A,
Okay.
and
I know a lot of people that play that. It's a good stick.
It's a 17-inch 5A diameter. It has like a teardrop
Yeah.
tip. No, it's not a teardrop. I think they actually call it a Taj Mahal tip. Kind of looks like a little,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a-
Top of the Taj Mahal.
Exactly. But I love those sticks, man. That's been my jam. I like being able to choke back on the stick if I need to really hit hard.
Yeah.
Especially in worship, because like the worship gig that I do is...
I will say that like Steve Jordan sticks, because they're so thin, I break them all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should try the Freestyle 5A maybe. And I actually think they make it in the... what's one step below? I think a 7A? I think they make a Freestyle 7A. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But that'll be a little bit thicker
Mhm.
than the Steve Jordan diameter, but
Yeah.
I think you'll like that. Well, dude, do you have anything else you want to say?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I know you've been bragging on me, but I'm going to brag on you because you're the best drummer that I know.
Oh, bro.
So you recorded on Polarity's, I call it the first legit album that we did here, or that I ever did as Polarity. You played on all of that and made it sound amazing.
I appreciate it,
And
man.
I'm glad that we still get to play today at
Yeah.
cover shows. And I mean, we're doing a wedding in a couple weeks.
That's
together,
right.
So
I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. I really appreciate it, man. I think really highly of you. I think you're awesome. And I can always like shoot you a text, be like, "Hey, I have this idea. I need a logo done for this.
Yeah.
Can you do it in like a day? You send me this," and I'm like, "That's great, cool. Here's $50." But dude, thank you so much for being on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I want to plug your podcast.
Yeah, so I just started a Star Wars based podcast
Mm-hmm.
about all of the really controversial Star Wars topics. We talk about a lot of the new movies, which are very divisive for a lot of people.
Right.
So it's called I Hate Sand.
I think that's a great name.
Right?
I love it.
And people who, we've shared it just recently. It's going to come out on Friday, July 3rd. People who saw the logo were like, they immediately knew it was from Star Wars.
That's so cool. Dude, I'm excited for that. I don't know crap about Star Wars, so I wouldn't be able to contribute much in that regard, but I will be listening.
Great.
I listened to that clip that you posted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool that Reagan's on it too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious to hear
Reagan actually has a lot of really cool things to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Y'all are very smart dudes. You know a lot about Star Wars. You always have. So I think that's so cool.
So nerdy
Yeah.
as fuck.
Well, I mean, there's a big demand for it, so I think that y'all are. I support that. I think it's great. All right, buddy. Well, I love you, man.
Love you too.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time.
All right.